And let's start in a neutral standing position. So check down at your feet. Make sure that your toes are tracking forward. Your knees are also facing forward and unlocked. So you want your knees straight but not locked back. Bring a little bit of energy and awareness around your hips and your pelvis. So feel your low belly lift just slightly. Feel the outer hips fire just a little bit so you feel again some energy here. Let your shoulders roll back and open. Feel your arms get long by your side. And just start to notice your body. Notice your feet on your mat. Maybe shift forward and back a couple times to make sure your weight is even across your feet. And on your next inhale, take a big breath in and swoop your arms up towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, draw your chin to your chest and start to articulate down your spine into a forward fold stretch. Allowing your body to really melt and hang at the bottom here. You feel a sense of ease and support from gravity as your body starts to sink deeper into that stretch. Take an inhale here at the bottom. And on your exhale, see if you can ease any more tension or tightness from your body. So notice if your jaw is clenching, if your tops of your shoulders are tight, and just create a little more ease in your body here. On your next inhale, start to bend your knees a little bit. So you want to shift the hips back a tiny bit. And on your exhale, curl your tailbone under and start to articulate back up your spine, straightening the legs as you get taller and taller, up to that tall neutral position once again. On your next inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, grab a hold of your left wrist, and side stretch over to your right. So we're just opening up the side of the body here. Taking a breath in and trying to really expand through the side of the rib cage here on that side you're stretching. And use your exhale to come back up to center. Take one more inhale here. Exhaling up and over to the other side. Feeling the rib cage stretch and open as you inhale. And exhale up to center. One more time to each side, from up and over. Holding for your inhale to expand the side of your body. And exhale up to center. Then do that one more time, up and over. On your exhale to the other side. Keeping your hips stacked and just side bending from your rib cage up. Take one inhale and one big exhale to stack back up. Let's set my timer here. Release your arms down by your sides, and then start to rotate through your spine here. Allow your arms to be free and relaxed. And let your upper body spin side to side here. Finding a heaviness in your arm. Did someone ask something?
Look, the paper.
Okay, I don't think that's for me. All right, bring yourself back to center. Take one more big inhale, reach up. And exhale, release. All right. From here, we're going to come down to the mat. We're going to dive right in, you guys. So I'm going to scoot this a little closer. So come down to seated on your mat. And if you guys have noise in the background, if you're chatting, can you just mute yourself just so there's no background distraction? And then if you have questions, you can talk. So I don't care if you guys talk as long as you're on mute. All right, so we're going to start about halfway down your mat. So make sure you have space behind you to roll back. Feet planted in line with your sit bones. So you're about hip distance apart with a straight back. And on your next exhale, you can go hands behind the thighs. Start to scoop your low belly and roll back just to stretch the low back here. So we're trying to create length through the low back. Feel your tailbone scoop all the way towards your heels. And then on your next exhale, feel your rib cage draw down to your hips and roll back up. You can keep your hands against the back of your thighs, or you can reach your arms forward, just a little less support here. On your exhale, scoop your waist back. Try to keep your chest and shoulders open here so you're not leading with the mid-back, but you're staying open. And then exhale, start to slide the ribs down to the hips and roll back up. One more time on your exhale, stretch the low back by engaging the abdominals. Roll back to that partway point and hold here. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, start to roll back a little deeper. And for every inch you roll back, you want to tip your hip bones up to your rib cage. So you feel that articulation through your spine, rolling down until your shoulder blades are hovering off the mat. So we're going to stay slightly lifted here. Start to walk your feet in a little closer towards your seat. And see if you can press your low belly deeper into the mat and curl it maybe just a tiny bit higher here. Flip your palms to face down and start to pump your arms for the hundreds. Really strong, energetic pump here. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. If you want to take this up to the next level, bring your legs up to tabletop. So a little more unsupported. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4. Making sure that your low back is staying flat into the mat. And if you can maintain that connection and you want to shoot your legs out, you can do that. So legs straight out. If you need a little more support in the back, you just bring your legs up a little higher. 8. See if you can reach your fingertips a little bit closer to the end of your mat. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, last set. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold here. Grab onto the back of your thighs, whether your legs are in tabletop, you're straight out, or feet are planted. Let's all go to tabletop here. All to tabletop. Take your hands on your thighs and just pull yourself up a little higher. So just try to peel up, and you can use your biceps, your arm muscles to do that, to lift up. And we're going to do little tiny pulses up. So chest to thighs. Using your exhale, pulse for 8. You want to go hands-free, maintaining that height. You could do that. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees in and rest your head and shoulders down. Take a big inhale here and a big exhale. From here, start to slide your legs out so that they're straight on your mat. And you want to try again to keep some energy so that you're not arching your back or flying nerves, but pulling everything down into the mat here. We're going to go right into our roll up. So feel your heels dig into the mat here so you have some energy in the back of the thighs. On your next inhale, reach your arms forward, draw your chin to your chest, and see how it feels to roll up. Now, if you get stuck at a certain point, I'm going to give you a couple options here now that we're actually seated that may feel better for you. So if you've done roll up and you want to just go into it with straight legs, go for it. On your next exhale, if you want to see what it feels like with a little more support, as you roll back, so same thing we did in the very beginning, roll back, start to drag your heels towards your seat. So the further back you roll, the more your heels are going to come in towards your body. Trying to control that movement all the way down. So once you're down on your back, your heels are in towards your seat. On your next inhale, draw your chin to your chest, reach your arms, and as you roll up, start to slide your heels out away from you. So you're pushing your heels in the direction you want to go. Once you're at the top, let's all reach up and over your toes. So let's come into that spine stretch. So instead of melting over the legs, which feels nice and there's nothing wrong with it, let's keep that energy in your belly. So scoop your waist back and up and try to reach your fingertips up and over your toes. So you're creating that really hollow tummy here. Start to roll up to a neutral spine. And on your exhale, start to roll back down. So you can do the heel drag option if you like, or have your legs straight out and roll down this way. What happens when the legs drag in is you can get a little more articulation through your spine. So either one of those options. Let's reach the arms forward, chin to chest, and roll yourself back up. Coming up and over your legs. Pull the waist back and up as you reach up and over with the arms. Back up to a tall neutral spine. If you want a little more for your roll up, reach your arms up by your ears and roll back. And keep reaching your arms up instead of in front of you as you articulate down on your back. Same thing on the way up. If you want that extra bit of a challenge, keep your arms up by your ears, reach them up to the ceiling instead of in front of you to increase that challenge. And scoop your waist back as you reach past your toes. So I love the roll up, and you see this like in the classical order. This is the second exercise we do. Let's do it a couple more times. It's a great way to work on your spinal flexibility. We're articulating up and down the spine. And then, as I'm sure you can tell, firing into your core right away. So we get that core activation right after the 100 and build on that. One more time, reach up. On your next exhale, start to roll up. Come up and over into that big spine stretch. So pulling your waist back, reaching up and over this way. Now from here, we'll roll up to a tall neutral spine. And then we're going to roll back part way. So no matter what variation you're in here, start to roll back about to where we started or 100 rollbacks in the very beginning. I'm going to have you hold here for just a moment. See if you can tip your hip bones to your rib cage a little bit more. Slide your rib cage down to your hips. Find that really strong connection through the waist. Then we're going to pulse up an inch, then back an inch, and up an inch, then back an inch. Seeing if you can use your exhale to create that contraction. So every time you exhale, you hover up a bit and exhale. Let's go for 4. And 3. Last 2. Last 1. Start to roll all the way down onto your back, slowly holding onto that fire in your core, and plant your feet down in front of you. All right, I'm gonna scoot down a tiny bit here. We're gonna go right into rollover. So I'm gonna start everybody with your hands under your hips. So you're actually gonna sit on your hands. And then from here, let's bring your legs up towards the ceiling. So your legs don't have to be perfectly straight. Really what I'm looking for is that your knees stay right over your hip crease. So instead of having your legs straight but having them down here, just create a little bend in the knees, a hinge in the knees to step over your hips. All right, so we're gonna start with a leg circle here, or double leg circle. So at the very top here, let's open to about shoulder distance apart with your legs. Flex your heels. I'm gonna pull my toes towards my shins. And then push your heels down as low as you can without letting, so we're gonna push down but pull down into your hands at the same time. So the lower you go, the more you have to draw your core down into your hands. So stop at that point where you feel like things wanna start hovering, where you lose that core connection, and then point the toes, zip the legs together, and bring the legs back up. So we're gonna open to shoulder distance, flex the heels, push the heels down as you pull your core down into your hands. So the lower the legs go, the more core connection you have. Squeeze your inner thighs, point your toes, and bring the legs back up. Now, if you want to take your hands out from underneath you, so you're just flat on the mat, you can do that. It's going to create a little more effort in the core. So let's try that again. We'll open, flex, lower down as you draw down. So I prefer to be in more of an imprinted spine here when we're lowering both legs, just for more of a core connection. Squeeze, point, and lift. So if you want to stay with this option, you can. Otherwise, we're going to take it overhead. So on your next exhale, you can roll up into your inversion, just to about the shoulder blades, feeling your sit bones reach up to the ceiling. And we're going to do the same exact leg pattern. We're going to open to shoulder distance, flex the heels, and then start to roll your spine down. Slowly articulating just like you did with your roll up. Once your tailbone touches the mat, press down through your heels, down through your core, squeeze your inner thighs, point your toes, flex at the hips, roll up and over. So if you can feel the connection between this and your roll up, it's actually the same exercise, but instead of rolling up and down from the upper body, we're doing it from the lower body. But when you're in that inversion, you're actually in the same shape. Let's do one more here. Lowering, squeezing, pointing, flex at the hips, roll up and over. So if you're in your inversion here, I want you to feel your spine stretch forward. The very top of your roll up is this position. We're just upside down. We'll open, flex, and then start to articulate back down. Once your tailbone touches the mat, hug your knees into your chest, and plant your left foot down on the mat. We're gonna hold on to the back of the right thigh for one leg circle. So on your next inhale, let's extend that leg straight up. It doesn't have to be stick straight, but just as straight as you can get it. And then bend the knee. So we're gonna do a nice stretch prep here. Extend the leg up and bend the knee. And extend the leg up and hold it there. Now, if you want to extend your leg out here, you can do that, making sure that you're staying and connected to your core. So this will be a little foot plans, a little more supported for your back. Otherwise, you can stretch that leg out, dig your heel into the mat. So lots of energy in that standing leg. Bring your arms by your sides. And then on your next inhale, we're going to draw a small circle with that right leg. So across the center of your body, circle the leg down, out, and around, and hold at the top. Inhale to cross, and exhale to circle. As you're drawing this circle, your hips are staying really still and quiet. So that means There's no shifting side to side. So make sure both hips are anchored down into the mat. So as much as we're focusing on moving this leg around, we're focusing on that core control once again, stabilizing. Now, if you want to take this up to the next level, take your hands off the mat. So either bring them up towards the ceiling or just down in front of your forehead here and take that level of stability out. We're going to reverse big leg circle. On your next inhale, open out to the side and exhale, circle down, cross the center line and lift. Imagining that every time that leg comes back up towards the ceiling, you're pulling in from your abdominals. So instead of moving more from the hip flexor, try to pull the leg up from your core. Let's go for 3 and sweep. Inhale, open. Exhale, sweep. And then digging into that opposite leg really helps to stabilize as well. And hug that knee into your chest. Plant your foot down and switch sides. We're going to draw the left knee in, hold onto the back of the thigh. Extend your leg straight up and bend the knee. Inhale, reach the leg up and bend the knee. One more time, straighten the leg. Find your leg option for your opposite leg, so you can slide out or stay planted. Dig your heel down into the mat if you have that straight leg option. Release your arms. And on your inhale, cross the center line. Exhale, down, out and around. Back to center. And cross. And circle. So you'll notice how your core activation actually has to change depending on where this leg is in space. So as the weight shifts out and around, your core activation will shift. So when it's out to the side, you're going to feel a little more of a pull down through that right side. You want to go into that hands-free option like you did on the other side. You can do that now. Do one more. Inhale to cross. Exhale to circle. And hold at the top. See if you can reach that leg up just a little taller. Dig your opposite heel even deeper if your leg is straight on the mat. And let's reverse it. Open out to the side. Exhale down and around. Trying to move from inside the hip socket. So feeling your thigh bone actually spin around in the hip joint here. That means if your knee is slightly bent, you can still do this exercise, right? It's the same thing. We're moving from inside the thigh bone here. Last 3 and circle. And 2. And last one here. Good. Hug that knee in. And from here, yes, that's what I thought. We're going to go into rolling back. So both knees into your chest. And then start to rock and roll just a few times until you come to a seated position. So we're going to rock ourselves up to seated. And we're going to do a rolling exercise, but we're going to start it from up here. So find a balance point here where you can just hover your toes over the mat. So maybe they're still touching, but there's no weight on them. Your weight is back here. And then start to hollow out your belly. So think of your spine stretch forward and you roll up, same shape. It's scooping out here. Our knees are just bent. Gaze towards your belly button. And let's just pause here for a moment. See if you can lift your toes off the mat. And on your exhale, see if you can scoop your waist back a little deeper. Create a little more space there through your belly. And do that again. Breathe in. And exhale, scoop back. Now, if you want to practice this balance point here, which is quite challenging just to maintain that weight right on the back of your hips, you can do that. Otherwise, on your next exhale, start to scoop your belly back so deep that you roll back to your shoulder blades and roll back up. Exhale, scoop to roll back and lift. So when you're in this ball shape, you're trying to maintain the shape of your spine from head to tail the whole time, no matter if you're at the bottom on your shoulder blades or up at the top. Now, if you want to increase the challenge, make your ball a little tighter and roll back and lift up. This is a really nice spinal massage, and it gives you a lot of information about your body. So if you notice you start migrating to one side of your mat, you may be favoring one side. So your goal is to try to roll down evenly through both sides of your back as you do this. Last one here. Good. Now plant your feet at the top, unwinding from your ball. We're going to go right into our one leg stretch. So arms in front, we're going to roll back as a transition, all the way onto your back. And then walk your feet in closer towards your seat, coming back to that hundreds position. So shoulder blades off the mat, feet planted, and then imprint your spine. So feel a nice flat, long spine here by drawing the low belly in. On your next exhale, let's pick that right leg up and hug your knee into your chest by pulling your abdominals down. So you're creating space for that knee by pressing down into the mat. And release that foot and switch sides. And plant. And switch. Now at this point, if you have any discomfort in your neck, like you've done a lot of abdominal work, you can always rest your head down here and pull the knee in by flattening. You can still create that same abdominal contraction with the head down. Now, if this feels good and you want to take this up to the next level, next time that right knee comes in, sweep your left leg out and hover it over the mat, still keeping that flat back. On your exhale, hug that right knee a little tighter and switch. And switch. Finding a really active reach out through that straight leg, like you're pushing that foot into something heavy, reaching away. So as much as we're focusing on pulling down from the core here, we're also reaching the opposite leg away. Let's do one more full set to the right and to the left. Hug your knees in and rest down. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, start to roll the head and shoulders back up. So from here, let's go back to tabletop with the legs and bring your hands behind your head for a moment. So you can actually support your head with your hands for a moment here, still keeping the shoulder blades off the mat. Now we're going to start from up here and do a toe tap. So we're going to tap the right toe down and lift it back up. And then tap the left toes down and lift it up. So you can stay with this option. And again, you can even rest your head down here and work your lower abdominals by hinging open and close from the hips. Otherwise, from here, roll the head and shoulders up and do a double toe tap down. Tap it down and lift it up. Now from your toe tap down, reach it out and pull it to tabletop. Tap down, exhale, lift, reach out, and pull it in. The whole time you're doing this, your back is staying flat on the mat. So if you ever need to go back to toe taps here or head down, do that. This flat back is your priority, not leg extension. Okay, let's do it 2 more times. Tap down, lift up, reach out, pull in, tap down, lift, reach out, pull in. Hug your knees in and rest your head down. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. From here, we're going to start to rock and roll back up to seated, all the way up to that seated position. And we're going to go into spine stretch. So the word stretch is in the exercise, but it's a lot of work. We have to work for our stretches and Pilates. So we already did this exercise, actually. I asked you to do that at the top of your roll-up. So we're going to do it again, but we're going to deepen it a little bit. So if your legs out in front of you feels tight through your hamstrings or your back, or with your legs straight if you feel like you're kind of slouching back, just dig your heels towards your sit bones and let your knees bend a little bit. So come to that straight back position where you're in a neutral spine. All right, reach your arms out in front of you. And on your next exhale, draw your chin to your chest. And as you roll down over your legs and reach past your toes, try to pull your waist back just as much in the opposite direction of where you're reaching. So this effort back is just as much as the stretch forward. And that's going to create a little bit of opposition and a much deeper active stretch. So we're going to hold here. See if you can lift your rib cage up off your pelvis a little bit more and reach it forward. And then pull your hips back and down at the same time, just to deepen that stretch. And we're going to pulse it for 3. So you're going to reach further and pull back further at the same time. Pulse 2, pulse 1. Roll your spine back up to seated. So it looks so simple, but it's one of the exercises that makes me break a sweat massively. All right, on your exhale, chin to chest, start to reach forward. At the same time, pull your waist back at the same time with the same amount of effort. Good. Now hold here, lift your ribs up and over your thighs. Pull your hips back and down towards the back of your mat. And pulse, arms forward, hips back for 3. Pulse 2. Pulse 1. And roll up to seated. Take a big breath in. Exhale, dive it forward. Waist pulls back. Now deepen it. Lift the ribs up and over, hips up and back. And pulse it for 3. Pulse 2. Pulse 1. And roll it up. And last one here on your exhale. Dive forward. Scoop the waist back. Feel that separation from your ribs to the back of your hips. Stretch them away from each other and pulse it for 3. Pulse 2. Pulse 1 and roll it up. Whew, are you guys like baking here? Or is it just me? Holy moly. Okay, we're gonna go right into open leg rocker. So come towards the front of your mat here, and we're gonna make a diamond shape with your feet. So you're facing the top of your mat like this. So toes touching, knees flared out to the sides. And this is another rolling exercise. So let's take hands behind the thighs and then tip back to that balance point again. So this time again, knees are flared slightly open versus rolling like a ball where we're closed here. And we're going to do a stretch prep just like we did with our one leg circle. So starting on the right leg on your inhale, stretch that leg out to the side as straight as it'll go and bend the knee on the exhale. And do that again. Inhale, stretch the leg. Exhale, bend. One more time, stretch it. And bend it. And switch sides. Inhale, left leg reaches out. Exhale, tap the toes. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, tap. And stretch it out. Tap it in and hold. So just getting used to your legs being out like this. Now, a couple options here. And if this is your first time doing it or it's been a while, let's come to a tabletop position with your legs. So shins parallel, roughly parallel to the ground. Your hips are still open here. Now, if you want to go a little further with this, if this feels good in your hamstrings and you want to go out a little further, straighten the leg, hold onto your ankle. Straighten the other leg, hold on to your ankle, and just hold here. So whether you have hands back here and tabletop or you're in that full V shape, just pause for a moment and get used to the sensation in your body. Feel your thigh bones pull down and into your low belly. So feel really connected to your low belly, your low abs here. And then find that round shape. Start to gaze towards your belly button and hold. And on your exhale, deepen your scoop. And exhale, deepen your scoop. And then start to deepen that scoop so much that you roll back. Inhale, lift it up. Try to maintain that shape. Whew. So you can feel with legs out further away from you. This is a little more challenging. Roll it back and lift versus rolling like a ball. So we prepped our bodies with rolling like a ball, and now we're taking it to that next level. Now, if you want to go back to rolling like a ball and practice that shape in your body, this is a perfect place to get a little more practice for that. And roll it back. And inhale, lift. Good, do it again, roll it back. And lift. And one more time, back. And lift. Hold your lift. Bend your knees to tabletop if your legs are straight out. Zip your legs together. Plant your right foot on the mat. Plant your left foot on the mat and come up to seated. All right, we're going to take it straight back onto our backs for corkscrew. So roll down, articulating just like we did before. Walk your feet in and bring your legs down a little bit. My mat slid all the way down. That's how you know you're getting a good Pilates workout. Your mat slides out from under you. All right, bring your legs up to tabletop. So 90-degree angle, your knees are right over your hip crease, and your low back is pressing down into the mat. Bring your arms by your side and squeeze your inner thighs together. On your next inhale, we're going to tip your weight onto your right hip. So the left hip will lift off the mat. Your left shoulder blade is staying heavy. And on your exhale, pull your hips back to center. And let's do that to the other side. We're going to tip. So you can see the hip is lifting up, but the shoulder is staying heavy. And exhale to center. Now, if you want to keep practicing side to side here, you can. Otherwise, take your legs up, straight up, squeeze your inner thighs still. So all the same rules apply. We're going to tip off to the right side. Exhale, pull back to center. Tip off to the left side, whether legs are straight or in tabletop, and back to center. Now let's draw a circle with this. We're going to tip to the right. This time the legs are going to sweep away from you. Again, doesn't matter if legs are in tabletop or straight. And as they come down to the bottom of your mat. Make sure your back is staying flat here. So we're only coming down as low as you can hold that flat back position. Tip over to the left hip. So feel that right hip lift. And then pull to center. Arms out a little further will give you a little more support. So if you feel like you're tipping too much, just bring your arms out to a T shape. We're going to tip off to the left. Sweep the legs down, draw down through your core, over to that right hip, and pull back to center. Now, here, we're going to add a little hip lift. Whoop, and down, okay? Now, one more time to each side, tip to the right. Sweep both legs, down, over to the left side, and pull to center, little hip lift, and lower. And one more time to the left, tip, sweep down and around, over to the right hip, pull to center, little lift. Hug your knees in for a moment. Take an inhale, take an exhale, and then find your leg position. So we're going to go one more challenge option here if you're up for it. So if you want to maintain your circle here, whether in tabletop or straight legs, we're going to do about 2 more. If you want to go upside down with me, let's do it. So start from a lowered leg position, just through center. On your inhale, we're going to fold right at your hips. Exhale, hip lift and roll over, just like you did your rollover earlier. Now, if the mat was up against your back, you tip onto the right hip. So the left hip's going to lift. The legs are going to sweep off to the side. And then roll the right side of your back down. So this is the same shape. We're just inverted. Sweep the legs down through center. Over to the left hip. Roll up through the left side of the back. Whoa. And pull yourself to center. Now again, if the mat was up against your back, if you were flat on the mat right now, we're going to tip to the left hip. Roll down through the left side of the back. All the way around through center, off to the right hip. We're going to roll up right. Pull the center. Hold your center, roll over. And then start to roll back down. Woo! Hug your knees in, rock and roll up to seated. That's always a fun one. No matter where you went with that one, it's always quite a doozy, that's for sure. Okay, we're gonna go into the saw. This is one of my favorite, like if I had to pick my top 3 favorite Pilates exercises, saw would be on the list because it's so unassuming. And the first time I ever did it, I'm like, yeah, this is like cool, whatever. Like just whatever, did not get it at all. And now this is another one that makes me just sweat like crazy. So your feet are gonna be about mat width apart this time, so a little wider than our spine stretch. And same options apply here. So if you feel like your back is overstretching or you can't quite stack, dig your heels, and it'll straighten you out. So either option is fine. So arms out to your sides. Now we're gonna go right into a spine twist. On your next exhale, rotate and spiral your ribs off to the right. So we're gonna keep the hips where they are and just spin from the upper body. Take your left pinky finger and dive past your right pinky toe. So we're making a cross motion in the body. Now, here's going to have you hold for a second. See if you can pull your left sit bone back and down a little bit more, and then reach your right obliques back and up a little bit more. So get your spine stretch scoop on that right side. Now hold here. See if you can spin a little bit deeper to the right. Pull your left sit bone back and down and reach a little bit further. Now come up through your rotation, back through center. And on your exhale, spiral your rib cage over to the left. So feel that right hip pull back and down already. And then dive forward past the outside edge of your left foot. Your right sit bone is going to pull all the way towards the back corner of your mat. Your left obliques are going to scoop back and up. Kind of lift the ribs off the hips on that left side. So let's rotate a little deeper. Scoop a little bit more through that left side and reach a little further down. Come up through your rotation, back through center, and exhale, rotate to the right. Inhale, exhale, dive. So just like your spine stretch, we're doing spine stretch, we're just at a diagonal angle. So as much as you're reaching forward, you're scooping back at the same time. The left sit bone anchors back and down. We're going to rotate, reach, and scoop a little bit more. Come up to seated, back through center, and exhale, spin over to the left. Inhale, hold. Exhale, dive. Left sit bone pull, or excuse me, right sit bone pulls back and down. We're going to rotate deeper, scoop, and reach a little bit further. Come up, back through center. One more time on each side. So we'll spiral ribs over, rotating from the waist, dive up, and then forward past the outside edge of your foot. We're going to rotate, scoop, and reach a little bit further. Come up through center and spiral to the left. Last one here. Come up and over. Dive. Now we're going to rotate, scoop, reach. Push it that extra quarter inch. Come up, back to center, and rest. All right, sweep your legs around. We're going to come right onto your stomach for swan dive. So we're going to start in kind of a narrow X shape. So bring your feet a little wider than your hips and your hands a little wider than your shoulders. And hover your nose over the mat. So we're going to stay in a neutral position to start here. And I'm going to teach you, I'm just going to take a second, and I know because I have some teachers in here, a lot of times when we're on our stomachs like this, it's hard to figure out where your neutral is on your stomach. And we get really cautious about the back, or when we lift, compressing the low back, we want to lift from the upper back. So I'm going to teach you the way I like to cue neutral on your stomach. And this is great for everyone, not just teachers. So feel your sit bones widen first. So actually feel your sit bones kind of reach up and away from you. You'll feel a little bit of energy through your low back. And then draw your low belly up at the same time. Okay, so it's not a forced tough position where we're lifting off the mat as much as you can. It's going to actually prevent you from moving. So sit bones widen, hold the belly up. So they're equal. You have equal effort in the stomach and the back at the same time. Now from here, hover your nose over the mat and maintaining that neutral shape in your spine. See how it feels to lift your legs, just hover them off the mat. You're using your seat muscles versus the low back to lift. And then set your legs back down. And then scoop your legs away from you and lift, keeping that shape in the back, that neutral spine, and then lower down. The legs don't have to lift very high to feel that effort in the right places. We're going to lift and lower down. And then let's lift and keep the legs lifted. Try to reach them a little further away from you. And then activate your seat muscles a little bit more to lift just a tiny bit higher. Then we're going to keep the legs hovering and start to slide your hands in towards you, just so you look forward and lift your sternum. So we're not even going into a full swan position. We're just extending through the sternum, the upper back, widening the collarbones, and then keep your legs lifted as you lengthen yourself back down on the mat. On your inhale, look forward, glide your hands towards your mat, staying in that wide shape. So open through your collarbones to the tops of the shoulders, and then reach your arms away. Now, if you want to practice this, or even just practice this leg lift, which is a great way to feel how to lift your legs from your seat, you can do that otherwise. Let's lift, and then just kind of crawl your hands in a little higher to where you feel comfortable in your swan, okay? So wherever hands in a little closer is going to lift you higher. So that's, again, not necessarily, quote, better, as long as you're lifting from the mid-back, right? Keeping the low belly engaged. Now, if you want to go into swan dive with me, we're going to release the hands, reach forward, and catch yourself. Release and catch. The legs are staying lifted the whole time. Coming back to that swan shape each time. And catch. Let's go for 3. And lift. And 2. Lift. Last one. Lift. And lower everything back down. Shift back into a brief child's pose here. Just give yourself a counter stretch into that nice, long, round spine. You can come into a cat stretch if that feels good. And then make your way right back down onto your belly. We're going to go into one leg kick. So I'm going to scoot down a little bit. I keep seeing this slide out the frame that way. Stack your palms. So your hands are stacked like so on the front of your mat. And then bring your forehead to your hands. Try to create space through the tops of the shoulders by connecting your arms into your upper back. Even though hands are up here, shoulders are also staying down here. Now reach your legs about hip distance apart this time, so just right out from your hips or your sit bones. And we're going to take the right leg, flex the heel, and using the hamstring, we're going to kick in for 2 counts. It's going to be a kick, kick, point your toe, lift the thigh off the mat, again from your seat versus the back, and reach the leg away from you. The left heel, we're going to kick it in for 1, 2, point, lift, and reach it away. And right heel, kick, kick, point, lift right underneath your sit bone, and reach it away. So we're trying to get that lift, but again, lifting from the right place. So the low back is going to stay in that neutral shape the whole time. Kick, kick, point, reach. Then on the left, kick, kick, point, reach. If you want to go up a little higher into extension, bring your arms out to a goalpost shape first, so a little wider, so elbows out from shoulders. Lift your sternum forward and up. So we're hollowing out through the shoulder blades. Looking forward, we're going to kick in for 2. 1, 2, point, lift, and reach. Left side, kick, kick, point, up, and reach. If you want to go into that full swan position here, walk your arms underneath you, so elbows are under shoulders, as long, now hang there, so lift. And we're going to kick in 1, 2, point, reach. Every time the toe points up and reaches, it's a chance to open through your collarbones a little bit more. Kick, kick, point, reach. And last one, kick, kick, point, reach, and lower everything down. Zip your legs together, and then lace your hands together behind your back. So your palms are facing up, your elbows are down on the mat, and then you can turn your cheek to face me. We're going to do double leg kicks. So same thing we just did, but legs are zipped together. And we're going to do 3 kicks this time. So it's a double, both legs, and 3 kicks. So from here, staying neutral in your spine, we're going to kick for 1, 2, 3, point, lift, and reach away. And again, kick 1, 2, 3, point, lift, and reach away. So if you want to practice this, stay here. And again, practice lifting from your glutes and your hamstrings versus the back. Otherwise, we're going to kick and lift this time. 2, 3, slide your hands down your seat, lift through center, so hands pulling down towards your heels, and then switch cheeks. And we're going to kick in for 1, 2, 3, point, reach, slide the hands down your seat, look forward, and switch cheeks. Kick 1, 2, 3. This time, if you want to slide or reach your arms up instead of up towards the ceiling, instead of down towards your heels for a little more of a lift, you can do that. And last one here, kick 1, 2, 3. Find that arm option, lift, and lower it back down. Now from here, shift back to one more child's pose or cat stretch, whatever feels better for you. And then from here on your next exhale, roll yourself up to seated and swing your legs around. So we're going to end, I'm going to sneak in neck pull here. Okay, so this is, we did roll up in the very beginning. This is a little bit of a graduation of this. So if you want to stay with your roll up, this is a perfect chance to practice it again. Otherwise, we're going to go hands behind the head, legs straight, hip bone distance apart. Again, you can have that slight knee bend if that allows you to stay lengthened through your spine. And then instead of rolling back right away, we're going to hinge back. So I'm going to take my whole spine in that neutral position and start to lean back. And there's a point in this hinge where you just kind of get stuck. All of us do. So when you find that edge right there before you can go back no further, then start to curl your tailbone under and roll yourself down onto your back. So hands behind the head is creating more weight pulling back, so we have to work even harder to try to articulate down. Now from here, if you want to practice your roll up here with your arms forward, this is a great place to do that. And then stretch forward. So everybody come up to that seated position. Let's come back up, whether you're doing roll up or neck pull. If you're doing neck pull, we're going to hinge back and then curl under and roll. Now, if you're a neck pull and you want to keep your elbows wide and your hands behind your head, you can do that. I'll see where I'm at today. Well, there's a 50-50 chance I can do neck pull. If you get stuck, hands behind the thighs, take your hands back behind your head as quickly as you can. Stretch over your legs and roll yourself back. Let's take one more here. We're going to hinge back if you're in neck pull, otherwise you're articulating in that roll back. Scoop under and roll it back. And keep your elbows as wide as you can for as long as you can. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, roll up. You get stuck, hands behind the thighs as shortly as you need it. Hands behind the head right away. Move forward and stack yourself back up. Super. From here, I'm going to have you shift your hips around and come into an all fours position. And on your next exhale, take a big cat stretch. Inhale, widen your sit bones, press your chest forward, and extend your spine. And exhale, curl the tailbone under, round up through your waist. And inhale to open. Now come back to a neutral spine here. Flip your toes over so that the balls of your feet are on the mat. And we're going to push into the balls of the feet, shift up and back into a brief downward facing dog. From here, you can walk your hands into your feet or your feet into your hands, whatever way makes sense, until you're in a forward fold stretch. I'm going to face you guys here. Letting your body release at the bottom. Bend your knees a little bit and exhale, roll up to standing. And then we'll take a formal forward fold stretch here to kind of wind down. So back to that neutral stance we started. Just close your eyes for a moment in the standing position and notice how you feel now, 45 minutes later, after doing that really nice opening, stretching, and activating workout. Take a big breath in, reach your arms up, and exhale, chin to chest. And allow your body to melt down into that forward fold stretch. Then checking back in, maybe remembering what this first forward fold felt like compared to now. And then just sit here for a moment and pick a word that you describe how you're feeling right now. You don't have to say it out loud, but just hold that word with you. Take an inhale to bend your knees. And on your exhale, carry that word with you as you stack your spine all the way back up to standing. Head and legs last. Take one big breath in, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart center.